back out, but getting into that nice strong catch. When she comes forward, it looks like she's just letting her hands slip inside a little bit too much than we want. A really good catch overall. Now I want you to do 3 power catch into 1 powerful stroke. So you got breath on that stroke, and then get right back into 3 power catch motions, and then into another stroke.
Следующее упражнение 3 таких же движения на захват, 1 полный грибок, и потом опять 3 движения на захват и так дальше.
So this time we're going to take that practice, hit 3 of those power catches, and then take it straight into that stroke. Really focused on establishing that power, connecting that stroke right out front, and sending that body forward. But again, very little momentum behind them, but you can see that surge forward when they do it correctly and really get that catch. So she'll go through 3 power catch into 1 powerful stroke. You can see how she wants to pull those hands through the water pretty fast on the stroke. So she's letting those elbows drop just a little bit too much. Really focus on connecting that power and having a little bit more of a body surge forward when they take that stroke.
Задача именно переложить этот захват в полный стиль.
So Danny will work those 3 power catches in a row and then try to take it into 1 powerful full stroke. This is, again, not a fast drill when you're doing just the power catch. So he doesn't have a lot of momentum moving forward. So he gets that whole surge when he takes that stroke forward, all from creating that power, from getting a nice strong catch and taking that into a strong pull. So Alex will do the same thing, and she's a little bit younger, she's not quite as strong. So you'll see when she takes that pull, she lets those elbows drop just slightly. Keep working on having those 3 power catches, working those nice high elbows, and having that pull be exactly the same as that catch. All right, we'll go one more time through that. That looks really good. Both of you, especially Alex, really think about connecting that catch into that pull and keeping those elbows up in a nice powerful pull. All right, one more time. Danny?
Еще раз то же самое. Думаем о том, чтобы передать этот захват в полный грибок. Соединить.
Good. See how he's not in a rush. He's got a little bit of a dolphin motion during those 3 power catches, which is good. You're going to have a little bit of lift as you go through that power catch because that motion is pressing down slightly, so you'll see his shoulders pop up and down a little bit. That's all okay, and as long as you take that into that powerful stroke, it's a perfect drill, just like that. Good. Swimmers, again, don't be rushed through the stroke. Allow yourself to get into that power catch nice and smooth and slide back out. And when you take that stroke, establish that power and accelerate that pull all the way through. So you can send that body forward. All right, great job on that drill. Now we're going to go into a 1-arm drill. 1-arm is one of my favorite drills. Specifically, what we're going to work here is 3 right, 3 left, and 3 full cycles. Okay? Some of the things I want you to make sure that you stay focused on. When we do 1 arm for a butterfly, I want the opposite arm up front. That helps us maintain a little stability, make sure that we stay on your stomach. I don't want you to do the 1 arm being on your side and just letting it come over here like a freestyle stroke. You're trying to mimic that butterfly as closely as you can. So we're out front, my left arm's out front. My right arm's going to come straight over the water with my recovery, get back into it, have that same undulation, that same dolphin motion we want, just have that 1 arm go through the stroke. And then once you hit that 3, you just switch arms. Once you've done both, you get into that full stroke cycle. One of the reasons I like this is I can take this drill into a warm-up. And I can tell how efficient I am when I was a swimmer. And then when I go and start coaching the top-end athletes, I want them to understand where their stroke is, especially in a warm-up before practice or a meet. This will tell you, without having to do straight butterfly, how much it takes you to get to the other side. So if you're really good and really on it, it'll probably take you 3 right, 3 left, and maybe a full stroke cycle, and you'll hit the wall. Okay? Some of you, if you're not quite as strong or not quite as connected, it'll take a few more strokes. But that should stay consistent from day to day. If it's not, then you know something's off a little bit in the stroke and you can tweak it a little bit. Alright, so we use this drill a lot to mimic that dolphin motion, get into that butterfly stroke without actually having to go full stroke the whole way. When I do this, I really like when they get a consistent rhythm to it. So a certain number of kicks they'll use underwater, Get into the 3 right, the 3 left, and then get into full stroke, however long it's going to take them to get to that wall. If they do this correctly and they stay consistent on those number of underwaters, they can start to see how efficient they are on a day. If they're dropping their elbows, if they're not feeling as strong and not connecting that power as much, they're going to take a few more strokes to get through that cycle, to get through a full 25, or to get through 50 meters to go through 2 cycles. All right, that looked really good. Same idea, stay consistent on the number of underwater kicks that you take, and let's see if we can cut down a stroke going forward. Nice and powerful, good motion, don't pause on the stroke, have it be as continuous as you can, nice and long and strong, but let's see if we can cut down a stroke, just be nice and strong and powerful. Okay? All right, Danny? Ready? So I've asked them this time to see if they can create a little bit more power, get into that rhythm, and try to get a little farther down the pool as they go through that full cycle.
Поддерживать ритм и попытаться проплыть дальше.
Сейчас сделал без полного стиля 2 руками, без грибка, но получилось, то есть он сократил. So as I mentioned earlier, I like that arm in front, just to keep a little bit more stability, allow them to stay a little bit more flat on the water and really practice a butterfly recovery versus a freestyle recovery as they come through. All right, I've asked Danny to come up a little bit earlier here so we can see that transition from one arm, nice and seamless, 3 strokes, and then you get straight into that other arm. So that timing and rhythm of the stroke stays the same, and then straight into those 2 arm strokes, full stroke, sending it all forward. Good.
Смотрим на то, чтобы по одной руке, когда по
As
одной
they
руке,
go
2
through,
руками,
you see somebody that
чтобы
has
ритм
tendency to
и
drop
темп
their
был
elbow
одинаковый.
or slip through that pole. This is where, on that single arm especially, I have the swimmers look at their arm, see what their elbows are doing, and see what that stroke is doing so they can adjust it a little bit easier. All right, now we're going to go into full stroke swimming, but we're going to do it with fins. I really like working butterfly with fins. It just makes it a little bit easier to make sure you can focus on doing the right thing. As we come across and walk through this, head stays in line with your body. Nice neutral position until you take that breath and the chin just moves forward. As we take through that pull, entering shoulder width or just outside. Don't let your hands come in here and then slide back out. The tendency will be to... All right, now we're going to go into full stroke swimming, but we're going to do it with fins. I really like working butterfly with fins. It just makes it a little bit easier to make sure you can focus on doing the right things. As we come across and walk through this, head stays in line with your body, nice neutral position, until you take that breath and the chin just sneaks forward. As we take through that pull, entering shoulder width or just outside. Don't let your hands come in here and then slide back out. Tendency will be to drop your elbows when that happens. Okay? Just reach here, get into that power catch just like we worked on, and then all together, shoulders and arms. Don't let your shoulders pull down, don't pull your elbows down and then pull through. You want it all to work together to create that power. So the catch, and what we call the power catch, really just sets it up. Then we want to get into this position and use all of that, all connected all the way through to create that power. Send yourself forward. Release and let those arms come nice and loose over the water. Okay? Those fins are there just to support you and give you a little bit more momentum and a little bit better rhythm as you go through that cycle. But all I want is that perfect stroke butterfly, nice and long and strong, keeping that rhythm going. All right, as they go through this, we really like doing butterfly with fins, especially for our younger athletes, to make sure they can get through it. Butterfly is a demanding stroke. It does require a lot of power to get through it. So you can see there how he's able to just flow through that stroke nice and easily. So I've asked them to limit their underwater so they can come up and just have that stroke. See how those recoveries are nice and smooth, creating that power. Good. All right, those strokes look good. Alex, I want you to focus on that catch just a little bit more. Getting those elbows up, really creating that power as you come through it so you can surge your body forward with every pull. Okay? All right, Danny, you're up first. yeah, you can see that power be able to create. He doesn't have to work quite as hard to work a really good stroke. All right, Alex, work that catch, work that power of each stroke. One of the things I also like about having fins on is it allows you to work that breakout a little bit cleaner. Gives you that artificial speed, so you're coming up more like race pace type speed, and then come forward. You can see how she was able to make a nice change and get a little bit more power out of that stroke. All right, we'll go one more time with fins, and then we'll take our fins off. This time I want you to be fast. Still only go about 2 kicks underwater, but when you come up, I want you to be fast, but make sure it's smooth and flowing together. Have everything working together on this butterfly. Okay. This time as Danny goes, you'll be able to see that breakout. He has that speed with his fins, comes out nice and smooth. The recovery stays smooth, and when I watch butterfly, I really want it to all flow together nice. When a lot of people try to go fast, they'll force that stroke a little bit too much and work against their stroke. Good. You can see that breakout stroke, she forced her head down a little bit. As she's getting into her stroke, it's nice and smooth. That head isn't forced down when it's in front, especially on that non-breathing stroke. That's a common habit of people trying to force that head down and go fast. All right, same thing. Let's go fast again. Now it's without fins. Hit those underwater, nice clean breakout, and then have it be a smooth stroke. Alex, you're forcing your head down a little bit when you're not breathing. Try to make sure there's no extra motions as we go through this stroke. As smooth and as flowing as you can get. All right, Danny, up first. Working that underwater, nice clean breakout. You can see how that stroke flows. Not forcing his head down when he's not breathing and creating power on each one of those strokes as he goes forward. Good. Breaking out right at the surface, sending it forward. Her wrists are a little too bent out front, so creating more drag than we need to. Have those fingers point straight out, so then you can point them down and get straight into that catch when your elbows are in position. So now we're going to work on some turns. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to lay out flat and do some in-place open turns, butterfly turns. Okay? When we go on your turns, one of the main focus points I want you to have is getting your knees up fast, flexing your hip flexors, and get into that nice tight ball as fast as you can. That's how we get our body around. Some of the major mistakes that people have is trying to use their arms. They try to lift their body out of the water or pull into the wall. It's all because they're not getting their knees up. So they're having to fight the water from the... So now we're going to work on some turns. First thing we're going to do is we're just going to lay out flat and do some in-place open turns, butterfly turns. Okay? When we go on your turns, one of the main focus points I want you to have is getting your knees up fast, flexing your hip flexors, and get into that nice tight ball as fast as you can. That's how we get our body around. Some of the major mistakes that people have is trying to use their arms. They try to lift their body out of the water or pull into the wall. It's all because they're not getting their knees up. So they're having to fight the water from their thighs. Okay? If you can get your knees up around, get into that tight ball, you're going to make that turn as fast as you possibly can. Then you hit the wall and you push off when we get into that normal turn. Okay? As we go through the turn, I want you to focus on that, on the wall. Also hit your underwaters for 4 dolphin kicks and do a fast breakout. Okay? I want those dolphin kicks to start out a little bit bigger and stronger, and then get faster on each one. So you're ready to really pop through that water and accelerate forward when you get through that breakout. All right, we're just going to do some turns right in place. So when you're ready, when I say go, just put your head down and then get those knees up and do a fast turn right in place. All right? Okay? Ready? Go. Go. All right, good. Let's do that again. Same exact thing. That's nice. The faster we get those knees up, the faster we can get our body turned around. That's what we need to be focused on. How fast can we get our entire body turned around and ready to go the opposite direction? All right, so let's do it again. Lay out. Head down. Go. Go. All right, good. All right, he'll come in, he'll try to adjust those strokes a little bit outside of the wall. Get those knees coming up underneath him fast, into that fast breakout on the wall. Forcing that head down a little long, both of them on that wall.
Немножко, говорит, толкает голову чуть-чуть больше вниз, чем нужно.
What we want to do is when they're coming into the wall, somewhere around the flags, be able to adjust those strokes. Instead of two long ones like they did, we want to create either three shorter ones or get a little bit more power out of those ones. Try to adjust coming into that wall just a little bit more so we hit it with full speed in and out of that turn.
Мы должны попасть по полной скорости в поворот.
Good. He hit that with full momentum, nice and fast in and out of the wall. Good. The more we hit those turns with momentum, the easier it is to get our body turned all the way around.
Чем больше мы попадем в скорость, тем лучше мы используем инерцию для того, чтобы развернуться.
Out. Good strong stroke in the water. Hits the wall much better. Good. Nice strong push off the wall. Good kicks. All right. Good breakout. When we work that breakout, we want to accelerate those kicks so we can surge forward on that first stroke. Good fast strokes in. He's going to go a couple fast kicks underwater and then come out with speed and momentum, really surge forward. He's a little deep on that because he's only used to going a little farther. Alex? Learning how to adjust your strokes in the wall is crucial so you can keep that momentum going, and your turn can be faster and faster as long as you can keep that momentum in and out of the wall. All right, good. Let's go. One more. You see how Danny takes that momentum and really gets around on the wall fast. Knees come up, shoulder twists, and his head falls straight back to get through that water quickly on the way out.
Все, в дельфине, после того, как вы касаетесь, есть такие рекомендации для того, чтобы быстрее выполнить поворот, свернуться, вот он двумя руками коснулись, разворачиваете корпус, плечи, прячете локоть, один пройдетесь, поднимите голову в это время, второй рукой низко над водой, и уже здесь вы уже в стрелочке во время толчка вытягиваетесь. И чтобы убрать это сопротивление, когда вы коснулись, рукой себя тормозите, и эту ручку прокладываете вдоль тела вашего. Убирайте сопротивление.
All right, so now we're going to work starts. Just to go over a few of our focus points as you go. First, when we get on the block and your set position, what we focus on mainly on that set position is to make sure that you are in a position that the first thing you can do is send your momentum and send that power forward. Anything else that we need to adjust and readjust after that heat goes is wasted motion and wasted time for us. Okay? So when we set up on the blocks, we want to set up to a point. All right, so now we're going to work starts. Just to go over a few of our focus points as you go. First, when we get on the block and your set position, what we focus on mainly on that set position is to make sure that you are in a position that the first thing you can do is send your momentum and send that power forward. Anything else that we need to adjust and readjust after that heat goes is wasted motion and wasted time for us. Okay? So when we set up on the blocks, we want to set up to a point where our arms, our legs, our body are all in a position that as soon as we hear that beat, we can react and explode forward. Okay? How we explode forward and what we really try to focus on is to have that reactionary motion first. So our reaction is based on our hands and our back feet. Okay? Mainly we look at that because most of our weight will be on our front foot. So that back foot will have a little bit less, and our arms will be able to push us forward while that front leg stays kind of loaded and it's ready. So by the time we're over the water, that front leg can explode, and that's where you're getting all of your power. So if we can use our arms and our back leg as that reactionary tool, and that front leg to really explode off the blocks with power, that's how we're going to get the fastest start off the blocks, but also get off the blocks with a lot of power and have that momentum carry us through the water. Okay? All right, Danny, jump on up. As we start here, I'm going to have you just get into a set position, and you're going to hold it for a little while. So I'm not going to have you go yet. So when we set, we want to make sure that our feet aren't lined up. We're not very well balanced there, so we want about a hand's width in between the right and left foot. So he has his left foot forward. We want about a hand's width between, which looks good. We do have a fin on this block, so we want it somewhere around the middle to upper side of that. If we're too low, then we're not taking advantage of sending ourselves forward quite as much. So as he sets up here, we'll try to straighten his back out a little bit so he can send that power. Let's just try to straighten that out. Push that hips up. There you go. Somewhere right around there. So he's in a position now where his arms are locked in, his legs are ready, and he's ready to react forward as quickly as he possibly can just from this spot. So as we go here, I'll set him off. Just stay where you're at when I say take your mark. Take your mark. Go! Good. Alex, come on up. So we want to work the same thing here. Try to get that set up to where you can explode right away. You saw Danny lift his head right off the block a little bit too much. You want to make sure that we explode straight forward, have that top of the head going like we're trying to break through a wall in front of us. Okay? All right, I'm going to say take your mark, but then I'm going to have you hold it there. Take your mark. Okay, on that back foot, pick that heel up a little bit so we're ready to really react. When that heel's up, we can react forward even faster. All right, good. Now I want you to try to straighten your back as well. Try to straighten it even more. All right. Okay, take your mark. Go! All right, Danny, that looked pretty good. Let's jump up again. Done a really nice job over the past couple of years to adjust your hips and really be able to expand forward. Now try to get all that action forward without trying to lift that head. Right, take your mark. All right, here you can see his heels up, ready to go. His elbows are back. Where they are exactly in terms of your arm placement doesn't matter unless if I have my arms out and I drop them first and then try to pull back, I'm wasting motion again as I go. So instead, he has his elbows back, he's locked in and ready to go. A little bit of tension on there, so as soon as he hears go, he can rip those arms back, pull on that block, keep him down low as he comes off the block. Because of that, back foot will be driving him forward, and then that front foot can come off with power. All right, here we go. Take your mark. Go! Nice smooth entry into the water and sending that all forward. All right, out.
Хороший вход в воду. Посылает его сразу вперед.
All right, same idea. This time, I want you to use your arms a lot. Really explode with that back foot and your arms to get going forward, and then jump off that block with your front leg. All right, here we go. Take your mark. Go! Good. You can see she's still working on getting a little bit more out of those arms, but she's got it all engaged and going forward. We can just work on that reaction a little bit faster. All right, come on up. All right, you can see how Danny has that quick reaction. He's getting his arms moving, If you watch this video as you go and slow it down, you'll see his arms engage and pull on that block. His back leg is driving forward. Then ideally, he'll be over that water before he pushes with that front leg. If he pushes for that front leg too soon, what's going to end up happening is he's going to push up. He needs to get out over that block, over that water, so he can push forward and have that momentum go towards the other side of the pool versus having kind of that rainbow start and push up and over. All right? Take your mark. Good. Nice solid entry, clean, and sending all that momentum forward. Nice, Dan. Out. All right, start looks good. I want you to work that reaction. So when you get down, get into a position that you know right away. As soon as you hear a noise, you're going to react and go forward. Got it? All right, here we go. Take your mark. Go. Good. Much better reaction going forward. She'll build into using her arms more, but right now she has that reaction forward. She's still getting that power and that line going forward off the block versus kind of coming up and down with that rainbow start. All right, so one of the drills we do to really try to engage those arms and get those more involved is we'll go a one-legged start. So we'll go down with two-leg like a track start, but I'll have them lift up that back leg and just stay balanced on the front one and their arms, just like that. And then when I say go, it's all about trying to get your arms, getting your body over the water before you push off with that power in front. So that reaction is going to be slower, but it's all about engaging those arms, pulling your body forward, letting your knees stay bent so that you can really jump off that leg in front. All right? All right. Take your mark. Good. You'll see they use their head a little bit to get that momentum going forward, but that idea is just to engage the arms, let that body come forward just with that arm motion, and then jump off. Nice job, Dan. All right, here goes. When I say take your mark, just lift that back leg up. Take your mark. Up. Good. So that's where you can see a little bit slower reaction off. Just can't get those arms to pull quite as fast as Danny does at this point. But she'll keep working on that and be able to get that reaction faster and faster as she goes. All right, good. We'll go that one-legged start drill again. Here we go. Take your mark. Up. Good. Using that head again for that little extra momentum forward, but really just engaging those arms, getting your body moving forward without any help from that back leg. All right, Alex. All right. Take your mark. Up. All right, good. Nice job. Okay, I hope this was helpful for you, and I look forward to those swim meets when the best part of coaching to me is seeing you turn around, look at the scoreboard, and getting that huge smile on your face by dropping that time and reaching your goals, especially in butterfly. So I wish you all the best of luck and keep flying.
Ровненько. Чем ровнее, тем лучше, чтобы ты мог вперед податься. Если ты слишком трепает, то лучше его выровнять вовремя, а так ты сразу двигаешься вперед. Вопросы?